All right, so now the fund committee will begin here with the first thing on the agenda, which would be to discuss the status of additional events. The Avalon Theater movie and what ice tasting, ice tasting.
Wine.
Ice tasting. Interesting.
I know.
Ice skating, wine tasting, but let's talk about the movie first. Then that David is really responsible for setting all that up.
No, I didn't do the movie at all, but I've volunteered to be there to help manage the
night out.
concessions and stuff, and do that. So the event starts at 6:30. Now, is that when the movie starts or
No.
when?
Movie starts, I think, at 7. We decided.
Okay, all
Yeah.
right.
Just to get
So
time for people that, because then they'd get there and then. you can
So
go
I was planning on being there, 30 minutes before that or whatever.
before
So,
that.
well, I want to work with the guy. I haven't met him yet, just to so we get the concession thing set up. And so as it works out, basically anything there is for the taking.
Oh, that's
Um,
great. I know.
Free popcorn, free popcorn.
Yeah.
More than that, I
Yay
think-
team, way to
They have
go.
wine, they have beer, they have ice cream.
Yeah. So we got a budget approved that it was about $10 a person, but for 150 people. So I don't think there's going to be that many. So within reason, all right, if people start getting a little crazy, I'll like reel it back. But I'll be there to help oversee that. Is anybody else planning on attending?
Yeah.
Yes, but.
I'm happy to come
I
early
really
if that's
can't
helpful.
I
If you
can't
come like maybe 15 minutes
Yep.
early, or just to make sure that I don't know if there are any
Mm-hmm.
cats to herd about getting people in, but just in case.
And
Oh.
I have a question that we never thought about, like, is there something that says private event, like people won't just wander in? How did we weren't gonna confirm they live in Martin's Position, we're not gonna ask for IDs, so,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not too worried, but we'll have to have
Um,
something.
I'm guessing the movie theater does that.
Yeah, I'm
Well, it's a
hoping.
separate theater. We probably ask. That's like some of the logistics. I think we have to like, hey, somebody's gonna come up. They're gonna buy a ticket. Well, they'll say,
Because there's something else happening in the main,
yeah.
there's a movie happening in the main thing.
They're like,
Okay, so
I'm
that
here
will
to
make-
see Desperately Seeking. Well, the only people who are there to
Yeah.
see that are
It won't
us.
be an issue, because, yeah, I didn't realize there was something else going on. Like there's a regular movie that someone.
And then
could go
maybe
to.
for the concession stand.
Yeah, how they gonna deal with that?
Oh, right.
Standing up
extra
for it.
VMA stickers. I've seen those small ones. Do we have any of those?
Like name
Oh,
tags?
that
No, no, just like the green like VMA stickers that
That would be good,
Oh,
so
we
you'd
got
know who could get free concessions,
I would just
otherwise
hand them
you're
out
gonna,
to.
anyone could get free concessions.
We had them at the anniversary party. Do you know what we're talking about?
Yeah, there's like
Green.
bumper stickers.
No, just it was a little
Those.
like round. Yeah, there you
Yeah,
go.
those are the bumper stickers.
Oh, that's a
Oh,
bumper
they,
sticker.
they can't go, they're magnets, so you can't put them
Oh,
on.
it's a
Oh, they're not
magnet, it's not a
stickers?
stamp.
There are some stickers as well, but I'm not sure if there would be enough for, well, I don't know how many people you're expecting.
Max 130, and that's all the theater can.
Yeah, you almost need like a wristband or something, but
We
I,
need to start talking
I
it
think
up on the new listserv.
We
by the
do.
way.
So
Yeah.
I think the cafe specific to this theater is like off to the, because they're like two concession stands. So
Oh, right.
There are, I've only seen one ever.
oh, really?
Yeah, when you go in, you go to the right, that's the
This
cafe.
could go
concession.
on. You want to try it?
I feel like those are gonna fall off if
Does it
you're
stick?
putting them on your
Oh,
clothes.
yeah, look at that.
Oh, it does stick.
There you go.
Let's see.
It'll work well enough for the first half hour of the thing.
Long
right?
enough to get free
Yeah.
food.
There
Yeah,
you go.
yeah.
We have enough
We
of
have
those?
enough of them?
I can see, yeah, I think we have whatever we have left. I mean,
Because
I'm
we can
happy
say
to-
welcome and then
Yeah.
either that or they're
Here's
gonna
the
have to
I
close
mean,
the
now it's single
concession
use
to other
instead
people.
of being.
I don't know how they're
reused.
gonna do it.
I have it on my body.
I think
probably
that's a
haven't
great
thought
way to just,
Yeah.
here's a sticker if you want concessions, put this on so they know.
Yeah,
Look, Marty.
What are you doing?
It looks great on you, Keith. You're looking handsome. What can I tell you? Looking good.
So, I can get as many of those stickers as possible. I'm not super worried about it. The demographic who goes to the Avalon to see movie isn't exactly there to steal free popcorn from somebody else. So I think it'll be okay.
that's true. I'm
But
usually
well,
the
at
youngest
the
one
ticket,
there, and I'm 65.
at the ticket booth, when somebody says, I'm here to see Desperately Seeking Susan, maybe we can have the guy selling tickets, just hand them one of those to put on their thing. And that way we know the
Okay.
concessions, who it
Good
is.
idea.
Okay. Awesome. So I'm gonna be there until the movie gets started and then I gotta bolt.
Okay, I'm
Um,
staying to watch the movie.
Okay, all right. So I'll get there, I'll pay the
I don't
bill.
think there's gonna be anything to.
You can't stay to watch the movie. Bummer.
I got it. I got a 2.5-year-old. I have no free time ever. So.
Boy, true enough.
All right. So
We're taking care of that. Now, something that I do know that David was responsible for putting together is the ice skating. So let's
Yeah.
take that next.
So, before we leave that, any remaining questions about the Avalon?
No, I
No,
agree,
but I
that-
think we should start advertising it. in
and
a
I
bigger
wanted
way.
people to walk, so I might say, anyone else interested in walking, would you like
Yeah,
to
I mean,
meet
let's
at
get
our
the-
corner
yeah,
or
sure,
over here?
sure.
And
Yeah.
yeah,
That's what
It
the
could be
listserv is for. Aren't you
yeah.
excited? We have the
Awesome.
listserv?
I'm very excited.
So
We can talk about
you
that
guys,
later.
somebody will send
No,
it out
we're
on the
not.
listserv.
I'll put it up on the listserv.
And I think it's already gone out in your newsletter. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's gone out and it'll go out again.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
It'll be in the wrap up this Friday and there'll be a standalone for it the day before.
Okay. So let's talk about ice skating. Next on the list. So ice skating, wow, that was a debacle back and forth. I think it took longer to get a time for that than it took to convince my wife to marry me. It was a little weird. It was back and forth. So as it turns out, it's June 7th. I don't know what day of the week that is. That is June
Saturday.
7th. Yep,
Perfect.
Saturday, 10 to noon.
That's
I already
perfect
got it
for
on my
kids.
calendar. What the heck?
So
Organ.
let's go back here. So June 7th, 10 to noon. So 2 hours. We have they call it a party room, but it's like a small room that's dedicated to us.
All right.
People can put their stuff there if they want to. I figured that they have a concession stand there. They sell pizzas and stuff for groups. I figured we'd buy some pizzas for people and put it in there because we got money approved for concessions
But
there
from
too.
that concession stand.
From them,
We
yeah,
don't
yeah,
have to do it.
yeah. The only other wrinkle that we haven't, they have no easy way of doing this is skate rental. So they don't ever throw that in. So we got to do that. I think that's $4 a thing. So
Can we just say people pay their own skate rental? I mean, you can, but it's just gonna be logistically, how are you gonna?
well, again, I think if we had somebody at the rental thing, like people came in and we handed them badges and they came and say, hey, I'm here with VMA. And it's like,
Right.
okay, your skate's
And then
going
someone
us.
just keeps track of the
Yeah,
number of
yeah,
people.
yeah.
And
I
then
can
they
do that.
just,
I think it's fine because again, we got like 10 or 12 bucks approved for both concessions and skate rental. So
Yeah.
we have plenty of money for it. It's
It's
just
the
a logistics thing. So we'll have to figure that out.
I mean, they'd have to agree that we're just making a list and then
Then
we
we'll
pay
pay
them at the
them.
end.
Yeah.
Not gonna pay per person.
When I visited them, they had like a whole like retail station to do the skates and they you have to give them money, then they give you skates. So we just give them a credit card and they, do it. But if we're really concerned or worried, we could send out like a poll or whatever, like a week or two before to see how many people are thinking of coming on the listserv, but it's up. Okay.
And you might want a second person, I'll put a note at the concession, at the party room.
Yeah.
We need some volunteers.
So I unfortunately, I'm going to be out of the country then, so I'm not
I
going to be
am
able to
too.
help
Oh.
staff this at all
Why don't we pick a day that you're gonna be there?
because
It took them, as bad as marrying his, proposing
the
his
only
wife
other
to get a
in
date.
June was a Wednesday at 2 p.m. So yeah, and then you started getting into July, so it was a thing, and I don't skate, so I was never going to do it. Like
Oh, that's such a
Um,
bummer.
But it's a nice idea.
yeah.
End of school
Okay.
year. I don't know if I'll be around either, but okay.
So when we get closer, we're gonna have to identify 2 people who are gonna be there.
I can volunteer for either the skate to help count
So
up
we
the
just need
people
one other person.
or in the waiting room or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
But we probably want even more volunteers just to.
Yeah,
be on
but
hand and greet people
the
when we
last
go.
year, Keith, we got volunteers that were well beyond this committee. We just,
Yeah.
it doesn't have to be just us doing everything.
Yeah.
So,
That's true.
right? And in fact, people like to do it.
That's a
You know.
good thing.
I think 2 is probably a good amount. One stationed at the skate thing and the other stationed
At the concession,
at the
at that room,
concession.
the party,
Yeah,
room,
yeah,
party room.
At the party room, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
But we can work out those details a little closer. And we've got
And
some
we
time.
might want, because that means that one person who's volunteering has to do the whole 2 hours. So we might want extra volunteers to take over and,
What's the date on
Although the
that?
skate
June
rental
7th.
should be.
but people might come.
I
later.
won't forget that. That's
maybe
my
more than an
David's
hour, and I
birthday.
would help
They
you.
might. I mean, who knows?
He's gonna be
You know.
30,
Oy.
so I'm not forgetting that
Wait,
date.
who's gonna be 30
My boy David.
On that date.
on
I
that
got
date?
I
Oh,
got a David too. So,
So we might want 2 per.
Okay.
I would recommend let's start advertising it sooner rather than later. And if we can get even a save the date or something in the May newsletter, that's probably good.
So when
And
you
the
need,
listserv is easy to just put anything up there,
when
so
do
I can
you,
put that up
when
there
do you
too.
need it by for the,
Was that?
to put it, when's your May, when do you need it by to an
We
announcement?
asked it for a week before the first of the month.
So that- I
Or
think
the
so
Friday
that's-
before is fine.
So you need it by the end of April.
And I think Yasmina was all on board with like doing another one of these. She seems to be the artistic skill among us, so that's great.
Yeah,
And then maybe as soon as this event is done, we start advertising for the next one, so
yeah.
people don't get confused and stuff.
Well, the next one is the 4th of July, right?
ice skating, then
Yeah,
Fourth
the
of
Fourth
July.
is ice skating, then 4th of July.
Actually, the
Celebration
next one
Umbrella.
is the celebration on the
Yeah.
sidewalk on election day.
Oh, right.
Well, that we have as a
What are
separate
we-
thing.
what are we-
We haven't talked about planned events.
Okay,
Wine tasting.
Yeah, I was gonna get to that here in a minute, as soon as we're done with the skating. So, more to follow on the skating. I think the next step is to get Yasmina to come up with one of these, identify 2 volunteers that can definitely do it. And then I'll email the people back and forth to see how they want to deal with, like stationing one of us at the skate stand, or this happens all the time. They've got
Yeah.
parties and stuff. People clearly,
Right.
so
Okay.
it should be a thing. All right. Anything else ice skating related before we move on?
Mm-mm.
Awesome. Last one is a wine tasting event, which we got approved too. So slight wrinkle, this is clearly going to be well beyond this CEC's, this committee's duration, I guess, because new committees will
right.
come up in
It'll be in
June.
FY 26, which starts July 1.
Yeah, so, and I mean, I'm going to volunteer to be on this committee next year too. I don't know if all of us will be,
I
but
probably will too, so.
so, but regardless, I think we should set it up and get it planned so that the next committee, it's just there
Yeah.
and everybody can just plan around it if they want to. I have worked out 2 dates that work with them. November 8th and/or November 15th. They're Saturdays.
November 8th or 15th. Let's
Yes.
just take a look right now.
We agreed that was gonna be.
Yeah, we wanted to get it it's at Friendship Heights Wine School. So it's right up here at the intersection of Connecticut or Wisconsin.
Wisconsin and Friendship Heights.
Yeah.
And how many can it fit?
It can do 30. Let me
So
look
my
here.
only question is, I thought we had said we didn't want to do things that were small because it was really hard to figure out who gets to go.
I mean, I don't really consider that small. I mean, it's
30? Well, we rejected a bunch of other things that were 25, 30 because of that reason.
I thought there was an online option. that
they
Yeah,
did
that-
away with that. That was a relic. So
That was, I think, why we said, okay, because then you could cast a wider net.
I
I mean-
guess the second fallback option is if it overpacks, then we can do another one.
so that's
But you could
the
take
thing.
both dates. And
Well-
maybe 60.
Yeah, we could. So when we originally talked about it, we said if we got oversubscribed, we'd use that as a lessons learned for the next year and say, okay, we'll do 2 dates or something like that. Or we can try to nail people down before the event and get a invite in.
I just don't want to annoy people that we're
RSVP.
doing things that are, yeah.
People could RSVP. I mean, we're not going to do it now. It's
No,
it's
no,
out-
no,
out
but
in
at enough
November.
time that we could say,
Yeah.
we can, yeah.
Like maybe 2 weeks before or something like that, have people RSVP.
But-
It's on a Saturday. It's like either between we have 2 times, either 5 or 5:30. That's the only 2 times they could start. It's like a 2-hour thing.
Well, do we want to, just because I'm nervous about people being annoyed if they can't get in, could we do it a little earlier and say we have this date, and if there's overflow, here will be the second date? Like, I wonder how the wine school, how long they hold the date.
They won't hold the date at all unless we pay. So that's the crux, right? And so really what I want to come out with tonight is yes or no, whether we're going to do it, and the ability to put the deposit down to save the date, because otherwise.
Can we do that? We can deposit for next year.
So if we pick just one date and then because we're only gonna get RSVPs 2 weeks before, if we realize within that 2-week period that is sold out, try to get the next date, even if it's in February, but we can get another date and tell people we're gonna do it again as soon as we can get a date or something like that.
I mean, so I think what we should do is whenever we announce it, we say, we have people email us, email somebody, email an account, right? And we give them, we set up a special email account, maybe on the listserv, right? Or something like that, where people email in and the first 30 get the spot, right?
People have to commit. So that's the thing about having.
Three
people not
events and they
pay.
don't show up.
Right,
Yeah,
so they
that's
say
true.
they're gonna come and then they don't, and then that messes up. a
So
lot
what
of other
happens
things.
if you have to?
So-
So we'll ask people, this
You're
is a
right.
commitment. And even though there's no cost involved, if you're not gonna make it, you need to give us
Mhm.
however much
And,
notice.
or,
We have a wait
Or we do a
list or
code
something
share.
like
no,
that.
we
Okay.
do that. And then a week prior, we email those 30 people out again and
And then I
say,
know.
are you gonna do this? Because if they're not, we'll just keep going down the list.
Yeah, tell them we
But
have
that's a
a
Yeah.
wait
pain.
list.
It's a pain.
Well,
Some has to manage it.
Yeah, it's not that bad, but
Yeah.
we'll get something we have to do.
We can just create a little Google form. It's fine.
Yeah.
It's easy.
Or accept 35, knowing the 5 won't show up or something. Yeah.
Yeah,
And
that's
because
a good
it,
idea.
because it is limited,
Cool.
my recommendation, just to be above board and transparent, is that initially none of us sign up
Fine.
for it.
Yeah.
Yeah. If there's space at the end, then I think fine, we can,
And if they want one of us there to help and not count as the 30, that's fine.
yeah,
That's
like, and,
different than-
you know,
Yeah.
I could go and like get the
Right.
door, like
But you don't have to
whatever.
drink, you can be
Exactly.
logistics, yeah.
Yeah, or I could go in the
Pretty
back
good idea,
room.
have
and-
none of us sign up until, but I guess spouses can. Right, can our
Mm,
spouses?
I think it's. conflict.
Probably, yeah,
That's a
probably none of
conflict,
us
okay.
or none of our
I think
family.
that's a very good ethical.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
We
it's
look
like,
at it.
oh, they heard about it, they signed up the
Good.
first 5 minutes.
I would be
Love
the
that
first person to
event.
sign up. I'm like,
I
"Ooh,
know.
rewind.
Exactly. my husband's like, "What?"
So we have some time to figure out the logistics. I want to come at it tonight though with a yes on one of those 2 dates. So we can give them a deposit to save it. And then we'll pay the rest the night of or the day after.
Okay, I say the earlier of the 2 dates only because things start to get pretty busy by mid-November.
Yep.
So, for no real reason other than that.
Okay, yeah, when we talked about it before, we wanted it early to mid-November just because of it was then getting into Thanksgiving and then,
And Halloween is close to, we already have an event
yeah,
then.
yeah, yeah. So
True. All right, but November 8th, we think maybe?
Different target audience.
November 8th, yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna put it on my calendar.
November 8th and 5:30. Saturday at 5:30, right? The deposit will be $975. That'll be 50%. I can do the same thing I just did with the other thing and put it on my credit card and then get reimbursed from you if that's easier. Or
Yeah, let me just double check with my accountant that it's okay to charge something for next fiscal year.
Oh,
during
yeah.
This fiscal year, but
Okay, yeah,
that'll
yeah.
just be an email, so.
Okay, all right. It'll be $975. All right. On the 8th. Good. I hope it's subscribed. I really do. I think that'd be a great thing. I honestly think probably won't be. I think, I don't know.
I think it will be, but I think what will happen is people don't read, as you very well know, and then they'll be like the day before, oh, I just heard about, how do I get on the list? Right? That seems to be how it works around here. And then you'll have tons of people who want to be added to a wait list.
Awesome.
I think doing the wait list would be good, just to have an idea of how many people are interested in that event, because then we can totally schedule another one.
Yeah. Yeah.
Again, these events are pretty cheap to compare to, our big events,
Yeah.
so.
Okay.
Small but impactful. I think people like them. So,
Yeah.
okay.
And it is for adults only, so.
This is for adults only. Yes.
And then you've got the planned events.
All right, so I think that was all the new additional events. So Avalon ice skating, wine tasting, I hope they're successful. I hope they become enduring things, but we'll see. Item 4, planned events for the year. So the next one is the sidewalk event.
And Yasmina sent notes. You want to read them? You want me to read them?
Oh, I'm not aware of those.
She
notes.
sent she copied you and everybody, I think.
Okay.
So it says, Michael, you have access to my updated notes for the sidewalk celebration, also attached. 5 artists will be participating, as well as Linda Fermana, Debbie Brown for Child Care Counts, and VMA Community Listserv volunteers would like to present with a table and chairs, I think, to help sign up people and show them how to use it.
Yes, we have a table rental company bringing tables and chairs for all the artists and the different vendors that we'll have there. We will have an ice cream truck. AJ is coming back. He's asleep, so he didn't hear me.
No, I'm not.
AJ.
AJ is coming.
AJ's coming. That's why I went to sleep.
Need some ice cream over here.
And we're used to, I came with thinking, oh, my cookies will be here and no, Katie's not here. I have to find out next time. Tell me if Katie's not gonna be here, I'll bring cookies.
I was also gonna ask Yasmina to make the flyer, but I went ahead and drafted or had Aaron draft
Uh-huh.
a template flyer. This is similar to what we did. You can pass them around. Similar to what we did last year.
Is this to go around from the street captains? So I might as well take it today.
We haven't printed those yet. We haven't approved those yet.
right.
This is just a draft.
Okay.
So no,
It's coming up though.
coming up. Yes.
Oh.
Those,
Yeah.
it does say,
This is
Marty,
just a regular
there's
thing
a thing.
people are.
it
familiar with
says 2025 election day
Celebration on the.
celebration
sidewalk.
on the sidewalk. And this is just the standard, no fancy graphics or anything. But I was gonna ask Yasmina to do that, but she's not here tonight, so.
And you're gonna be sorry when she gets the job again.
And if she can't, we can just do this. That's fine. We also sometimes produce a poster that lists all of the different vendors,
Oh, yeah.
but we don't have the final list. I'm still reaching out and inviting the utility companies, the
Why
the
do we invite-
library,
Why do we invite the
People like-
utility companies? I am curious.
it is good to have like a relations with them.
Oh.
Anyone that's kind of front facing in the community, we try to have an opportunity to speak to. We invite electeds to all of our events.
Right.
Not that we have to, but
The water people have come.
Really?
Yeah.
What about the trash people?
yeah.
There are
uh,
vendors. There are vendors.
There
They're
are
not-
contractors.
Pay them. They're not a public service.
Right, they're not trying.
They're great guys, but it's not.
We don't have to. We don't have to.
No, it's fine. I just.
And,
always thought it was
you know,
funny.
not all of them show up, but we like to, make an offer.
So it's keeping relationships.
Yes,
Okay, I
yes,
see.
absolutely.
Gotcha.
Yep.
How about an offer to the merchants to like barber shop gives half price off haircuts during the time of the.
If they're not open, right?
Yeah, that has never really worked because they close at 6 and normally they're trying to shut down at 5. And I don't know that anyone who's coming to vote is also coming to get their haircut for a $5 discount or something.
But they could give
So-
out, they could have a table if they
We
wanted.
can
with
talk to them,
coupons.
but I don't think that anyone's ever gotten their haircut at this event. So I don't know about that. We have used Olympia Cafe and we'll do that again this year. I'll ask them to
Okay,
make
that
a bunch
was
of
my next-
sandwiches.
that was
We'll
my
set up a
next
table for sandwiches and chips from them. And then we ask, Chevy Chase Arts Academy will be playing music again. And we asked the Brookville Market to provide cookies or something, and they tend to
Joe will do that. No problem.
provide
Yeah.
something, so.
Good, okay.
But maybe, since it's a new barber, listening to what you're saying, maybe we should ask them and set, for them to know there's this event, if they'd like to have a table and promote their barber
Or even
shop with
stay open late
coupons.
that night.
whatever. I agree with you, no one's gonna get a haircut, but I
Well,
think people all
I
know
don't
that
know.
they're.
If I came with my kid and he needed a haircut, that's such an impossible thing.
I just want them
find
to
time
know
for.
that they're
I
new,
might
they're
get
brand
a
new,
haircut.
right?
I think it's possible.
Might as well invite them.
They have provided $5 off the last several years.
This is
since
the
I've been
new
here.
owner?
No,
When did the new
don't think
people
so.
come?
I've been there for 4
2
years.
years.
Oh, I thought it was
2020.
another new
Okay.
owner.
They've been-
Okay, so
they've been
twenty
here longer
twenty-two
than
is
I
the new
have,
owner.
yeah.
Okay, I thought it was more recent.
If you want to ask them, that's fine. I just.
So they know
I
about
ju-
the
I ju-
sidewalk.
I just got
sale.
feedback from the last year that it wasn't really,
Okay, well then, if you got the
Perfect for
feedback,
them.
then we're not gonna.
it didn't really do anything.
But
But
for
from
them,
their
so.
perspective or ours, because it's no skin off our back. If they want to stay open later to try to get more
Right.
business, that would be fine by me.
Might as well extend the offer, I think, don't you?
You Tell them they just like, yeah.
You just tell them that they can stay open later if they want. to.
Yeah.
That's fine. It's,
If I
You
ask,
want me to tell them?
they'll stay open.
They
If I
don't, but
could
they don't need to. It's only if it benefits them. Mhm.
Yeah, it's not required. Yeah. If I could jump in with a little bit from
Sure.
starting with greetings from the election committee and thanking you all from the entire committee for doing the sidewalk celebration. And just talking a little bit for a moment about logistics. The election committee, and Michael will be working with you on the logistics for our election committee table. We will have the secure election drop boxes again. And Michael, we'd like to set up by the wall there toward the corner of Turner, like we did last year,
Yep.
which gives the election officials and the drop box some physical security with that brick wall. Is that doable again this year, Michael?
Yeah, I was thinking exactly the same setup as last year.
Yep, that's great. And canopy in case of rain?
Yeah, we have extra canopies here, so I would set that up myself if there's a chance of rain that evening.
Okay, we had
But
only other two.
Keith's guaranteeing there won't be.
Keith, we're counting on you again. One more time.
Okay.
And two other things from various election committee members. One was a request that if there are only four of us on the election committee this year, and we are required legally to, maintain constant supervision of the election drop box and be at the table to service voter requests for replacement ballots or whatever. So we may not be able to leave our station to get a sandwich or a bottle of water. So if you guys on the
We'll
engagement
make
committee,
sure you get a sandwich.
yeah, save some sandwiches for us because we got really hungry last year and you guys were really nice and brought us sandwiches and soft drinks and bottled water. And I want you to have a thank you again. We said thank you last year. We're just thanking you in advance this year. So that was one thing. Kind of keep an eye on us, see if we need anything because we may be stationary depending on, what we have to do. And the other thing is that somebody had a suggestion about, would we please invite the scouts to have a table there? They have a
Do we
kid
have
who's
one
gonna-
that's in our neighborhood?
Yeah, we have a scout troop in our neighborhood. It includes both boys and girls, which I love. Having been in Girl Scout
Does
myself.
anyone have the name of them? Like, how would we find them?
I have it somewhere. The scout leader. Michael, do you have that or not?
No,
No? Okay. I will
I
get
don't do
back to
anything
you.
with the Scouts.
Okay. Anyway, somebody was asking, apparently also a former scout, about, well, why aren't the scouts there? Why don't we have this? And I said I would bring it up with you all because
Scouts
I
are
thought it was
welcome if they want to come and have a table. We can-
Marty, let me have that number of that person. Let me take care of that.
And if they want
Okay.
them, Michael needs to know because we need a table.
I'll get the scouts here. I was never aware of that.
If they want.
Okay. Yeah. It's from what what I've seen of it, it seems to be a really good, lively scout troop. And it's not just VMA. I think it extends a little bit across Brookville Road to section 3 or 5, which is fine. Scouts are scouts. Anyway, so thank you for following up, Keith and Michael. I'll send you both the contact info for the scout troop leader. And
I'm gonna
again,
try to-
thank you.
I'm
Thank
gonna
you for all
try to
the
have David at that one because he's an Eagle. He was an Eagle Scout.
Wow, that's impressive. That's impressive. I got a lot of merit badges, but I never made it to Eagle. I didn't even come close to that. So thank you.
That was
for
One of
including
David's
me.
projects, by the way, Marty, was to do the sidewalk celebration here when he was in high school and.
I
he was-
remember that. I
For one
remember
of the
that.
merit badges, that's right. So I'm gonna have him over here to cheer us on.
Wait, he could earn a badge by helping plan the sidewalks?
He helped by pitching in with community service that I had him very much involved with.
Nice.
Yeah, yeah. What a great kid he was. And now he's a great grown-up. What can I
He
tell you?
made a
You did good,
surprise
Keith.
appearance here at the meeting a couple of months ago. You remember that, Michael? He surprised the heck out of me, I'll tell you that.
That's so nice. Anyway,
Okay, so
thank you
thanks,
for all
Marty.
thanks for all the logistical support and thank you for everything you do. And Michael, the election committee should take a look at the final flyer before you print it, like we did last year. Just run it by the election committee too, if you would. Sounds like you got it, the heading on it just right.
Can you see it? Can we hold it up to you?
I can't see it.
It's it doesn't, I can read it to you. All it says is, village residents are invited to the 2025 Election Day celebration on the sidewalk, hosted by the Election Committee and the Community Engagement Committee, Tuesday, May 6, 2025, 5 to 8 in front of Brookville Shops.
Sounds great. That sounds perfect.
This is
Consider it
exactly the same
by
as
the
last
EC.
year. It's just the year has changed. That's it.
That's perfect. Yep. Thank you for running that by both committees.
Very
Um,
straightforward.
Okay. Thanks.
Thank you. All right, so that is the sidewalk events. The event after that would be the 4th of July event.
Do we need to start planning that now?
I just wanted to talk about it briefly, just to see, I mean, the village has always done a great job like coordinating that, and I don't know if you like need help in advance with anything. Somebody made mention last time of us upping our popcorn game or something like that, and I
That
think,
was for movie night, but yeah.
oh, yeah, sorry,
That's
yeah.
movie night, yeah.
I think one or two of us like looked something up or whatever, so that's whatever. But is there anything you need this far in advance of the 4th of July?
The only thing that we have to do this far in advance is we have to apply for the permit, which we have already done
Okay.
through Montgomery Parks and Planning, which owns the park.
Uh-huh.
It's never a problem because there's never anything happening there, and we're mostly in the cul-de-sac anyways and on the basketball courts. We'll set up the vendors, and the vendors do most of everything. I'm actually kind of using more vendors for more things. The less I have to be hauling around coolers and stuff. So we've even started having the vendors bring the water bottles and those types of things because we never have enough water bottles. One year we were dying. It was, 105 degrees with humidity or something.
Water.
And it was pretty rough. So that's the first thing, using the vendors as much as possible. And then the second thing is the council has heard from a lot of residents that they want alcohol back at this 4th of July event. So this year will be figuring that'll be the first time I've done that. I know all my predecessors figured that out. So this will be the first time I'm figuring that out. So I'm not sure whether I'm going to try to find a vendor that would do that, that can rope off a little area and do a beer garden style thing. But either like it's the 4th of July, people want to drink a beer and wear red, white, and blue, and that seems
Beer
the
garden would be
council.
nice.
The council encouraged me to let go of my stance that we
Yeah.
shouldn't have
Well,
alcohol.
they're not gonna influence me because you know how I feel about that.
I
And I
understand.
know I'm gonna be overruled on it.
The
The worst offenders when we did have the alcohol was my kids, so I know firsthand.
so yeah, well, we'll definitely want to make sure that we're only serving to adults, and that's the biggest concern, of course.
That's why I think like a food truck for beer or whatever is great, because they typically come with additional permitting at the county level. We make it their responsibility to make sure that the people they're serving are 12, right?
If
Yeah.
not, what I would do is I would fill up a couple coolers with pre-purchased stuff and assign somebody to watch that cooler.
That's a headache.
sit with
Vendor
you.
would be a lot better.
Or set off at one specific area where,
Yep.
the coolers are set up over here and this is adults only area.
I would just outsource it if you, I mean, yeah.
But if I can, that's what I'm gonna try. But I don't know what other, what insurance is required and those types of things once you start hiring and setting up beer gardens
Yeah,
on county property. So there's some logistics
you
here.
can do it in my yard. It's a
Yeah.
little
The
far.
way they used to do it was really just Gene Sperling bringing a cooler
Yeah,
full of
that's-
wine bottles. So
We-
It was
Yeah.
done-
We've
it was
moved beyond
done in
that.
my yard. It
Yeah.
was always done in my.
Oh, it
yard.
was, so it wasn't actually in the park,
It was never in
well,
the
it's
It was in the street.
still happening in the
Yeah,
park.
yeah, yeah.
right?
So this is just, it's us running it a little bit more versus it just happening organically.
What's
So
the date of the July 4th?
June 29th. It's always
Sunday.
Sunday before.
the Sunday before 4th of July.
Okay.
And 4th of July is like on a Thursday or something this year.
I can look around. I mean, I can look around for some like vendors or beer trucks or whatever. And
That would be helpful.
like try to figure out like the basics, like, hey, do you guys need a permit if you do this? Like if you show up on a street, like is there anything?
Well, and we do own the street, so,
Oh.
sometimes that's a way to get around stuff with
Mhm.
the county. Just don't tell the county about it and do it on
Don't
the
do it on the street.
on the side of the road.
That's in my yard. And that's my yard, inside the fence.
Yeah.
Yeah, that causes all other problem, Keith.
For the person whose house it is, then now you're responsible.
Yeah, you don't want to be
And-
I don't like
responsible.
that.
And then your neighbors.
And you're already providing water for the water slides, so we'll catch you on the hook for that.
Which is your
Which is-
house over there?
Right at the corner. Right.
There's one down in the park.
The last one next
With
to
the white- with
the
the white
basketball
fence.
I
court?
always wondered where we got the water for that. Is it from your hose?
Yeah.
And the neighbor is.
So the
He's
one
here,
on the
he's
side
right
of the
here.
Basketball
My
court or the
neighbors
other
are-
side?
Even
The
though
other
they're
side.
never there,
The
they're always
last
away.
one's,
I've got the key to their property.
And we
so-
do reimburse him for the water bill, so, because we do use a lot of water. at
That's
that
a
rate.
valuable piece of property.
We,
Awesome.
and we, also have started using a company to bring in, a porta potty and a hand washing station. That isn't used that
They used
much.
to go to his.
It was always my house. I'm not, that was my idea. That was
I
my,
know.
Michael's idea to do that.
We're trying not to
Yeah, a little more
abuse your house.
civilized now, yeah.
You know, especially with, you got cats in there and we got vendors that we don't know walking in and out of your house. That's not a good idea.
Yeah.
We got, it's not that expensive either to just rent a vendor.
Yeah.
The hardest part of working with some of those vendors is the arrival times and, you know, because I'm not trying to be here for 8 hours on a hot day. So, and sometimes they'll show up at 8 in the morning and things like that. And they don't tell you when they're coming and they're trying to call you.
But I'm always there. so
Yeah.
I'm not
Right, so
worried.
it's
He
just
does it all the time.
coordinating that and setting those up. But that's not a problem. And we've done that a couple times now. So we're pros at this event.
I don't want to complicate things further, but Katie mentioned last meeting that the Rollingwood people are always looking for the opportunity to like co-opt one of our events.
But they don't have any money.
How do they have any money? They're a
They
huge
don't
community.
collect any.
Well, they don't have any taxing authority. So
Oh, they
that's, they're just a.
No,
homeowners
they're not a
association.
municipality. They have
Oh,
no
Probably
municipal
not gonna have to go
corporation.
to that where you're having so many food
they
The
have
vendors,
history here
an
is-
HOA or something is what they.
Yeah,
have, or-
it's,
They can come to like movie night.
things that we don't have to pay for.
And
all
we-
that
we-
food.
we-
So it doesn't matter. it's just
are-
popcorn or
Yeah,
something.
exactly.
there is another event that we haven't talked about, which is the shredding event. I think that's on
Yeah.
May 4th that we're doing. We are collaborating with them and they're sharing in 1/4 of the cost
Yeah.
to rent that shredding truck.
And do we have to do a flyer about it, or you just put
No,
it in the
no,
thing?
we'll just announce it. in the-
Are we doing 2 movie nights this year?
Yeah.
Yeah.
When
We
is
have
the
the
first
Said we
date.
one
were
then?
going to,
Yeah,
yeah.
but
I
it must
was,
be-
I was arguing
have
that we
the
should
date.
only do one, but I
Well,
think
the
you
problem with
all,
doing one is, and it's happened already, whereas midway through the movie, it threatened lightning, and so we had to cut it, and then that was it for a whole year.
Last year we did,
So,
both nights were
That was
perfect.
only 1 year. That was the
Right.
first year.
yeah, the very first year we
Everyone
did
has
it.
been, okay.
And then,
we have found the adult movies or the PG-13 movies are way better attended. The
Yes.
kids movies just don't work.
Yeah.
well,
The kids have already seen the movies 100 times.
that's
and
what
they're
I said
outside
when I came. I was
candy.
like, why did we have 2 movies targeted at the little kids?
Well, we aren't. We said, we have to go back to our old notes, but I
Alright,
thought
so
we had
are we
agreed
old-
to change
Are we
that.
doing 2 movies now targeted at PG-13 and none for the little?
I don't know
ones?
what, I have to look at our notes, because I don't remember.
It was two.
We did say
Okay,
2
I see you at the
movies.
PG-13-ish.
I think,
Okay,
I don't
good,
remember
but
what
when
we
is the
agreed.
date of the first one? Because usually one is Labor Day weekend,
It's.
Yeah.
the Sunday night of Labor Day
We
weekend.
did,
But
We
what's
have
the
a
first
calendar
one?
First Sunday, first Saturday,
I thought one was
or
August.
Sunday in August.
Oh, they're both in August.
We
Yeah,
actually
August and
did this.
September. Oh, I
this-
got
August
it.
and
the last
September, I
Couple
think
of
we
years,
said.
we did both Saturdays.
August
So is
3rd
this-
and the 31st.
Okay. Third and the 31st day.
or was it the
Okay.
Sunday the 4th is what I have.
It's-
Anyway,
yeah.
but both in August, not in July. Not another
Well,
July event.
No, August
In September.
3rd is a Sunday.
Yeah.
You looking at the
Oh,
wrong
I'm
one?
looking at the wrong year.
So August 3rd, we're not around. Oh, we might be around actually now. Okay, you're right. I have it on my calendar already. Maybe
We did definitely
Yeah,
discuss
the
it.
31st is the Sunday night before or during Labor Day. Yep, I have it on my calendar. Okay, I just wondering, when do we?
You're
have
better
to get
organized
this
than the
in?
rest of
I
us. You
know.
actually have it on your calendar.
So those are really easy events, especially because they're only one vendor. So all it is me.
Well, unless we get this popcorn vendor that I've
Right,
been
but
Right,
still,
yeah, yeah.
talking
we've
up
got
a little
lots of time. We're already in March.
AMC
April here.
popcorn food truck.
Do we have a budget? Because I talked to some and it's like $500, $600 for unlimited popcorn for 3 hours or something. It's like not that much money. So,
I think we'll be okay with the budget this year. Well, we bumped up the budget for the community engagement committee overall the last 2 years in a row. And then part of that was because we want to do the big 40th blowout this
oh,
year.
yeah.
And then also it ended up being, we had 2 4th of Julys in fall in this fiscal year, because last year it was on July
Oh,
1st.
yeah.
And this year is on June 29th. So
Oh.
we're actually gonna be very, very tight this year, maybe even going over and needing to do a budget adjustment. But for next year, I think we're gonna be fine.
Okay, and the
Um,
2 movie nights are in August, so.
Yeah,
Yeah,
those
well, I
will
think that's
be
great.
early in the budget year and we'll, they're,
Okay.
it's
Good,
like
then I think
$1,000
Popcorn's not
or
expensive.
something. for
No,
people.
I'm gonna, and they.
And the vendor
like, "Oh, it's
normally-
Like $500-$600, whatever, to come
Yeah.
3 hours and they can just give out unlimited.
They can
money.
honestly just be there for an hour at the beginning and then.
No,
That's
that
true.
was
Although
what I
they
was
have-
not
no, they
happy. I
had-
was pissed last time.
They had a
They gave me
minimum.
one little bag and then I went back like halfway through the movie and they
They
said,
were
we don't
done.
have any more.
Yeah,
I was like.
that's not what we want.
I was
And this was, they have a minimum amount of number of hours.
Oh, okay.
So
okay.
they're not gonna come and set this. Oh, so I'm trying to make it so they make it on site, the kettle corn. where
Understood.
They
make
did,
it on
they did
site.
last time. They had a machine.
No, I'm
Yeah, yeah.
talking about kettle
We're
corn.
Oh,
talking about-
fancier, you're getting
Yeah.
fancier. I was fine with the
'cause I
regular
hate-
popcorn as long as there was enough of it.
They didn't bring enough. I don't even.
No,
know.
they wouldn't,
Well, and the kid's gonna burn through it.
Yeah,
quick,
like
so.
within a half an hour, he was like done.
Yeah. All right. So we'll
Anyway,
get
but
a-
we've got time to
So-
plan
So
that.
the movie nights are easy. We're not worried about those. Even if this committee is not back up and running by August 4th or 3rd or whatever it is, that's fine. We'll just run it. And we can.
Well, then
get-
I'll talk to you separately.
And we
about
can get a
this.
popcorn vendor. Yeah.
Yeah, I
that's
have
fine.
people I was talking to already.
That's fine.
There's
She's
two
got
different
people.
ones. Well, they're at the farmer's market, so there's Capital
Oh.
Kettle Corn
Oh.
and Black Horse Kettle Corn, I
Yeah,
think is what it's
I
called.
think I
So-
recommended two when I sent the minutes.
Oh, and
in
you had
last
some
month,
too.
Capital was in there. and
Yeah.
something else. So yeah, they're
I-
plenty.
The thing I would like for those events from this committee is to actually help me select the movies. I put out a little survey of like, what movie should we watch? And then people don't really nominate anything.
didn't-
Or they get mad if they don't get their movies, so then they don't
Really?
come. So
Oh,
we
well,
don't put
that's-
that there.
That's,
That's what
um,
happens at Chevy Chase Rec Association, the
We
CCO.
could, we could do like a Slido pool of the community.
We did.
poll.
we did that.
Yeah,
That's what we did.
I just came up with a list of movies that
And we did
I
a poll.
thought, and then I asked which one do they want, or I left a different box of other, do you have a different recommendation that we can add to the mix for next time? And we got like no responses, so
Really?
we just kind of like, or it was like you know,
I
it was a
voted.
three-way tie between, you know, Buzz Lightyear and,
The Goonies or something.
yeah, right.
So, but our target
Sandlot.
audience.
Anyone?
is-
Sandlot? No.
Oh, yeah, it's a great movie.
Yeah, right.
No, I,
No one voted for it, so. But anyways, that, just some
I do think
ideas.
that one of them should be sort of a classic movie as opposed to just targeted at teens, because I think it's another one that older folks might want to go. If we showed it, like literally, if we showed a Casablanca, don't you think people would come? People have no chance of seeing that anymore. You just,
Yeah,
it's not around
I mean,
anymore.
I would come for Casablanca in a New
See
York
what I mean?
minute.
Like,
Yeah.
I would like one to be classic movie night and one to be.
We're gonna make you
teenager
in
or
charge
whatever.
of movie now.
That's
There
awesome.
you go. You
I'm
see
the
it?
original person that started it.
Well, there you
I'm
go.
the
You-
original.
I'm gonna
Very
put that in the
original.
notes.
I'm happy to, I started it.
There you go.
It was my original idea.
oh, yeah.
Great idea, Barbara. Go for Casablanca.
All right.
That's what I wanted out of it.
4th of July, we've talked about
If there's anything else.
movie night. Is there anything else we need to talk about now?
Halloween,
I mean, it's
I'm
so
not gonna
far
worry about
out.
Halloween.
Yeah, it's so
we're
far.
not going that far.
You're only going till June 30th,
Yeah.
so.
The
we're
only
already-
other
we're
thing
already
we
well
have to
past that.
do on the agenda, because we forgot last time, and we should actually start putting it on the agenda, is the next meeting date.
Oh,
'Cause we always forget that, and then you're like, what's the next meeting date?
No, we decided last time. We did.
We did, yeah. think-
I just reached out to confirm when asked for the agenda.
Right, so
Um,
the next one will.
So
be-
I personally like this every meeting more often, like every month or every 6 weeks, rather than last year. I think we met less
That works
frequently.
for
It
me Any
seems-
date you want.
it
So
just seems to work
anytime.
well.
I think because of the ice skating event happening on June 8th, I think clearly we're gonna meet in April or May, sorry.
Right, so we just need a May date.
I think we should meet a little closer, maybe to the end of,
We should do it after the sidewalk event so we can debrief.
Yeah, the council meeting's on the 15th
okay,
and the election day is on the 6th.
okay.
So the first 2 weeks of May are gonna be busy.
Maybe
How
the
about
20th,
Third week,
the 20th,
you all like Tuesdays, right?
is that all right?
Well, I'm away, but.
And the
tomorrow.
vote counting is on the
I mean, you don't want to do the
21st.
13th, right?
They have something else on that week.
I have to call my son back in a sec.
Are you out that whole week or just the 20th?
Yeah, my son graduates college in Vermont, and then we're going to Montreal,
Wow.
We're
Cool
both
trip.
good.
University of Vermont. So he's
Congratulations.
in Burlington, so
Wow.
unless he just calling me, I'm like, don't tell me you didn't pass the.
Oh, geez. He will graduate. No worries, Susan. He will
Don't worry.
graduate.
He has too much fun.
I love.
He's like,
Montreal.
oh, I'm still snowboarding. There was still
I
snow.
still think we could do it on the 20th.
20th or 27th, I mean,
Are we on the 27th?
27th is day after Memorial Day. Does anyone care? No one's
No.
going anywhere.
I don't care.
Is it too late for ice skating or coordination?
Ice skating is on the 7th, so
Okay. It's up to- If it's okay with you, 27th
else
is
do-
great. If not, do the 20th, then I won't be there. It's fine.
So the
Or
20th
I'll
or the
try and call.
27th?
to the 27th. I'd rather have more people here.
May 27th, next meeting.
Okay.
All right.
I would like to just add one more thing before you all close up and adjourn,
Sure.
which is a big thank you to all of you for these community events because this community, like so many, as you all know, is going through a lot of turmoil because of the federal government actions. Many of our residents are having their jobs eliminated, or even the federal contractors, not just federal employees.
Including
This is
Yasmin.
yeah, exactly. It's so many people are affected by it. It's been really, and will continue probably for a while to be a really tough time for people. And bringing this kind of community solidarity, and just some good times and something to smile about. It's always been important. It's always been really valuable. And I just want to say a special thank you this year because I think it's doubly and triply needed. And I think the movie Casablanca actually might be quite apropos to show this year. Just saying, personal point of view.
Election.
But seriously, you guys
Not
are
gonna
really
click.
making
Good.
what you do is more important than, I mean, Keith, you always talk about the fun
Oh, I
committee, but it really is more important than just fun. It's a lot of fun and it's more than that. And this year especially. So just a big thank you, because you make a difference. You do in terms of the community feeling good about getting up in the morning. So just know that you make a difference and thank you very much.
Thanks, Marty.
Thank you,
Thanks.
Marty.
All right,
I have a public comment if we can.
Yeah.
As far as the flyers that are on the table, we've printed out the exact number of houses, so we're having people come in and we're checking off which street captains have actually picked up their flyers and haven't.
Yep.
So the street captains that have picked up their flyers as of tonight, I want to thank them first and foremost. And also we're inviting the street captains to a volunteer appreciation event that we do every June. We'll invite all of you and all the other committees. That's being scheduled right now for June. So we will invite the street captains and try to engage them a little bit better going forward. So the street captains that have come by so far to pick up the flyers, and again, there's no hurry on these. The first, both these things aren't happening until the movie night next week. So we have some time. Turner Lane, Thornapple Street, Taylor Street,
These are
Summit,
picked up.
Shepherd have all picked up.
Bradley.
Chestnut and Bradley. So Brookville Road hasn't picked up.
That's Paul.
Cummings Lane has not picked up. Delfield Street, Melville, Oxford and Quincy and Raymond Street.
So I can easily do Melville Raymond. It's all my circle.
So I actually want to back off, like zoom out a little bit and say, I think we need to have a conversation with this committee about the street captains. When it ends up just being Keith doing all the streets, or when it ends up like, what is the point of this entire program and all this organization and all this, different people who's emailing, who's in charge of them, who's
So I think,
following up with them, what happens when someone doesn't have a street
Yeah.
captain, how do
so I
we?
think part of the problem, but we should talk to Paul, is I think Paul was very active, but he's got a very big job
You just
now.
brought up the magic word there, ball.
But he's got a big job now, and I guess the question for him is, does he feel like he has the time, the bandwidth to do it all?
Well, so maybe this is something to think about before next meeting or something. I would like to be a partner with the CEC meeting and with the CEC committee and figure out how to better, organize and run the street captains. I don't know if it needs to be an annual year appointment where people have to re-up their appointment, because there's a lot of people that are just kind of hanging on and aren't actually involved.
Unfortunately, I think we're twisting arms, so it's not like a re-up, like, oh, yeah. right.
I think it probably should be a yearly thing where people just have to
We have to
confirm whether or not they want to be that person or not. And if not, we find
Because the other thing I want the street captains to do is I want them to help me keep track of who lives on West Street. I mean, we're finding out, I just found out tonight that there's a new person that lives on Quincy and I didn't know about them, and now they're not on the voter roll, and I'm gonna have to spend an hour trying to figure out who they are and what their email is tomorrow.
I took care of that, Michael. Talk to me before you call him. I talked to both parties, the people who moved out on 162 Quincy and the new people. So
Okay.
I got that covered. But call me in the
Well,
morning.
I need that information as well, and I need the street captains to be on that kind of stuff. So,
Exactly.
and
On the street-
I know multiple people in this room are street cap. Actually, a lot of you are street captains. So, I know I'm speaking to the choir here. You all are my heroes who are super involved, but
Can I make us?
it's an ongoing
So it
pressure.
sounds like, because we all don't always remember, so we want street captains on our agenda for next meeting.
Yes,
right?
please.
Yeah.
And then
And maybe discussing it for next year, for next fiscal year.
Let
And
me
the-
give you two more names too.
just wait a minute, Marty. So Because you're more likely to talk to Paul, right? Will you,
I'm going to talk to Paul
just
now.
will you have him come to the next meeting if he
I-
can? And if he can't, then maybe we'll have a pre-meeting with him and
Yeah,
talk.
because
I'm
I
happy to
asked
do
him
that.
specifically to come to this meeting tonight.
I know. I think,
There's somebody else who was on this committee who came, as far as I remember,
He just
only
came
one
once.
time.
yeah, he got
Is
busy
he-
with a big case.
Oh, he
That's
did.
what he said.
Okay.
That was the gentleman,
The water guy.
Yeah, and he said,
he was
Mark-
sat over next to
Mark
me.
Shamel.
Yeah,
Oh,
Mark,
okay, and he's
yeah.
not able to come anymore.
well, I don't know.
I
He
don't think
came, said he had a big case and he's trying to start coming later, but
Oh,
So
Okay.
we'll put that as part of the agenda.
Yeah.
In terms of stuff that has to be handed out here in the next week or so, how are we gonna deal with that?
so
Okay, well, here's two names. Josh Bowers has moved back to Summit.
that
And-
is this about the street handing out the flyers?
Yeah,
Not the street captains, yes.
Oh,
street captains, yeah.
Couldn't tell if
And
was on that.
he distributed the flyers on Summit for this round with these two flyers. And I think that he might be very happy to be approached to be the street captain for Summit. And he also told me he would be willing to do Dellfield as well, if needed. And Barbara, you've got Thornapple, right?
correct.
Yeah. And the other
Okay.
person that has come up again through the listserv connection is Anna Luna, who lives, I think, down in Oxford, and said that she'd be willing to help deliver these flyers on Quincy and Oxford. Just let her know where she was needed. And her daughter's actually around this coming weekend. And so any street that we need covered this coming weekend, Anna Luna is told me she'd be completely available and happy to do it with her college age or high school age daughter. So there are people who are willing to step up in these roles. And, it's great
The
to have.
issue is Michael doesn't want to have to ad hoc every time reach out to lots of people, so-
Exactly,
And
exactly.
it's not the current street captain's job to, rally, replacements for them when they're out of town and stuff like that. I think the CEC needs to be the one managing the street captains. So, Marty, I appreciate it. You sending people over here to pick up flyers, but I didn't know Josh Bowers was back and he showed up just expecting to have flyers pre-printed before they were ready, and he,
Oh, okay, yeah.
and he told me that he was picking up for Thornapple, and we have a street captain for Thornapple. So I think it got very confusing, and different people were emailing out different things. And Paul said the flyers were for the election committee, which is not the street captain's job. So there was
Right.
a lot of confusion the last 2 weeks about these flyers. So that's why I'm saying for next year we need to figure out a better plan than this. We
Yeah,
can't
better
have-
coordination.
We can't have Marty emailing about flyers that are unofficial listservs to go out. That's not the way this is supposed to happen.
And let me-
Yeah, that's what Paul told me to do. And then I was not sure, but of course I did it because Paul said I should do that. And he was the street captain coordinator, so I was following his instructions.
He is
But I
still
was
the street
confused
captain
too.
coordinator.
So, let me throw in a, so for flyers and stuff, it just seems like there's a lot of moving parts and mental damage. Like, is there a reason we can't mail these to people?
Because
Well, mailing is a big administrative task where I have to, go to the post office and hand put on 330 stamps.
and the
Which I
other
already had to do, 3 times for the
And the
election.
other thing is, the whole point of street captains, in theory, in which we
I
can revisit,
get it. but
is
it's-
knock on the door and talk to the person.
But even if that's the case, there are, what, 10 street captains, 8 street captains, just a lot
14.
of people. There you go. It's a lot of herding cats, right? And so honestly, like, I didn't know we didn't have a postage machine here where you throw that stuff through and it puts postage on 300 things in 40 seconds, right?
That would be nice.
That's what you should need. That's what you need.
That's what we should spend some money on.
Right.
Seriously.
It costs $30 a month to lease, like it's minimal. So think about that, but it's just a lot of mental damage over getting these flyers into people's mailboxes.
So I think we should shelve it till next time. I hear what you're saying. I mean, maybe having 14 street captains is too many, and each street captain takes 3 streets, and
Yeah.
you cut it in half. That would help, because coordination is complicated when you're dealing with that many people.
Yeah. Okay, that sounds good. I just wanted to bring it up and air some frustration.
Yeah.
So thank you
Yeah.
for listening.
Postage machine, there we go.
Yeah, you
like the
should.
idea.
That's a good idea.
How do you throw that idea out there?
He
Okay.
just,
Get it
he just
approved.
takes raises it with
Oh,
Katie, right?
I'm the manager, so I can just look into things. Yep, I can just, I don't need anyone's approval for
I
that.
would
You go to
recommend-
Staples and you buy one, and then you pay
That's a
a
random-
Up to a certain dollar a point, I can just do things,
Yeah.
including the new webcam and setup we have tonight.
very swank.
Thank you for the date.
Which is working great, by the way. Thank you, Michael. This is the best visuals we've had on a meeting in ages, ever perhaps in the village office. So improvement has been noticeable and is very much appreciated.
One final question before we adjourn. Yasmina did put something on here I didn't really see, is that it's cute and funny. We'll have door prizes for anybody who comes, for folks dressed like 1985. Do we have any swag, like hats or like a couple shirts we can get out or something like that?
She should have cleared that.
I think
She
she,
did.
I think
I
she
think
had an
she did.
idea for that. I don't know what it was, though.
You could also, if we need it, if people come dressed up, which I doubt many people will, you just get a gift card to the Avalon or something.
Right, but who's got, someone has to buy it and someone.
I think Yasmina had a plan for that, so that's a Yasmina question. But no, I don't have any swag to,
You don't carry any swag?
we don't,
Oh, man.
we
We have
currently,
mugs.
we currently have the stickers that you're using as identities, and we have a few remaining mugs. That's about it.
Man, we need to up our swag game.
We do have a budget line item, and every year I'm doing a new thing. So last year it was the mugs, this year it was the stickers and the magnets,
T-shirts or something.
t-shirts. I think hats is what I want to do next year. Yasmina wants us to do umbrellas, but we don't have anything right now.
I think
Okay.
Hatfield see more people wearing them.
They'll wear 'em.
Okay,
They're wearing them.
Oh, we have a-
you ready to adjourn?
Yeah, just a couple of things here, okay, if I may. Does anybody want to talk about the listserv, or is that appropriate now?
I think
Since,
it's the listserv
since
is,
one of these flyers is gonna be about that.
I was told the listserv is outside the community engagement committee,
Okay, so we
so
won't discuss that.
So then it never gets discussed, but
it was discussed and we had a huge meeting about it and we were told it's outside of this and then we had.
outside of the
some-
committee, but it's still something in the
Nothing to
village.
do, it's in the village, but private, not nothing to do with the.
It's a private run listserv.
No, I know,
Yeah.
but I mean, we can't talk about it in a meeting. Is that what you're
I
saying?
don't know, I'm looking to.
Oh, you can talk about it, but
Yeah.
there's something to say.
What did you want
We
to
don't,
say?
we don't control it. We don't run it.
I
Okay,
don't wanna know
What-
about
what
it.
did you
Alright.
wanna-
just then forget that. The other thing is that,
Can I ask a question about that?
Yes,
I
ma'am.
do. How many people have signed up so far? Do we have a
I
lot?
can
We don't
tell-
run it.
Oh,
I-
but nobody knows the answer.
I know the
Oh.
answer.
Okay.
I'm one of the
Is it
administrators.
successful? I guess is the point. Is
Well, it's only
another-
been up for 2 weeks, I think, but I was surprised at how many people. Let's see if I can figure it out. He would probably know better than I do because I'm not.
I'm not.
No, I know, but you would know how I
Do you have
search.
something else to?
I did. I was just gonna see if Susan Fattig is with us still.
Members. See if I can figure.
Hello, Susan. Okay, goodbye, Susan.
I don't know if wow, I don't know
Guess
how to
not.
look at the numbers.
Nothing
These are
else?
all the
So
people that
that's
have,
it.
I'm an
Okay, done.
administrator, if I could see. These are
All
all
right,
the people that signed up.
you wanna
Oh,
adjourn
that's
us?
There's no
Yes.
total number, but that's great.
I don't.
There's
see
Susan.
it.
Sorry, I was trying to
Hi.
get my mute button off.
Yeah,
Yes, I
Susan,
am here, Keith, and I did hear you.
Oh, yeah, well,
Good meeting.
thank you for coming back in there because you haven't been heard of all evening.
No, I've been listening though and
I wanted to
taking
make
notes,
sure
so never
I,
fear.
I value any comments you have, so please, before we officially
I'll-
adjourn.
I'll be sure to update you. I have been taking notes. Thanks.
Okay, all
Have a
right,
good
thank you.
evening, everyone.
Okay, thank you.
Good night.
I know this
Okay,
is
so
way some shit.
Move to adjourn?
I officially,
Default, bulk remove. I don't want to do anything, I'm afraid.
They're just chatting.
I submit that we adjourn the meeting.